Big Tuna and old Twinkies. What a weird week.
Hi, everybody, it's weird.
This is like crazy being here.
Weird.
Really weird tales.
Bigfoot eats out of my trash.
Well, I got a great show for you today with some wonderful weird stuff.
Hi, friends. I'm Scott. This is What a Weird Week, a show where we go back through the news of the week and we pick out 10 of the weird stories or the fun, interesting stories. We tend to keep things lighthearted, never anything too serious. And you can get all the show notes to everything we talk about if you go to shownotes.page. We keep the show notes at shownotes.page. If you enjoy the program, I appreciate a good review on your podcast provider. This is the episode first dropping on January 9, 2026.
Number 10.
Number 10 is the record-breaking tuna, which sold at auction for a lot of money, made headlines. This is a famous auction in Tokyo, a fish auction where the article says at New Year's, bidding does tend to get very exciting and break records. It happened again this year, and the 535-pound bluefin tuna sold for $3.2 million. That is a record. I'll put a link in the show notes if you're curious to know what a record-breaking tuna looks like. If you don't have a chance to click, let me describe it. It looks like a tuna. There are a whole bunch of tunas laid out on pallets at this auction, and to my untrained eye, they all look the same. But I'm sure something sets this apart. The tuna experts would not pay $3 million for an average tuna. But I was a bit disappointed. I thought it would look magical somehow.
Number 9.
Number 9 is the world's oldest Twinkie. Happy birthday.
Hi, I'm Roger Bonatti. I'm a retired science teacher from George Stevens Academy, and this is the Twinkie that began the ongoing Twinkie experiment. This was a chemistry class, and in the chemistry class, we happened to be discussing food additives and different types of food additives and food preservatives, and one of my students just happened to ask me, well, how long would a Twinkie last? And my response was, I don't know. And I said, well, let's do an experiment. So I gave the student a couple of dollars, asked the student to go down to Merrill & Hinckley's and pick up a package of Twinkies. So the student came back with the package. I basically unripped the package, ate one of the Twinkies, and then put the other package up.
I love that. The teacher ate one of the Twinkies. But one of them has been around now for 50 years. The Twinkie is still there in the main high school, in a glass case, and the experiment continues. Happy birthday, happy 50th to the world's oldest Twinkie.
Number 8.
Number 8 is an AI that went off the rails in Utah, a police department in Utah, United States of America. They're using an AI tool. I think it's just a transcription tool is what it sounds like. But it made headlines because the AI claimed in the police report that it generated, it claimed an officer had turned into a frog. And so now that officer has been fired because the police department only hires human beings. Some of that is not true. Here is the real story. The AI is transcribing from the body cam footage. And the officer on scene, there was a movie playing in the background. Some reports had it as Princess and the Frog. But then some reports said, no, it was a Harry Potter movie. Anyway, the discussion in the movie was about people turning into frogs. And so the AI picked that up and added it to the police report. On a related note, doesn't that sound like it could be the plot to an Adam Sandler movie? Somebody call the Sandman and let's get this thing made. It'll take 3 days. Adam Sandler is a police officer who turns into a frog and continues to fight crime.
Number 7.
Number 7 is an update to the robot uprising. And your update is the robots continue their uprising. It is a slow uprising, but it continues. This time around, robots in the news, it's about the scientists in Florida. They're using robot rabbits to attract Burmese pythons in the Florida Everglades, United States of America. Burmese pythons are a real menace. They're bad for the environment, bad for local wildlife, and they're thriving apparently. And the article says that out of every 100 Burmese pythons thriving in the Everglades, you might see one. There are that many. The elusive Burmese python. And so they're using robot rabbits to attract the Burmese pythons so that they can manage the population of Burmese pythons. That's kind of the takeaway. If you want to read more, we'll put a link in the show notes or click shownotes.page. The robot rabbits look a lot like regular rabbits.
Number 6.
Number 6 is a phenomenon that you might be living through right now. If you took any time off over the holidays, perhaps you're experiencing the time off tax, which made headlines this week. I didn't know that's what it was called, but it's where you take a week off of work and then you have so much work to catch up on that it ain't fun. It is the opposite of fun. The latest numbers on the time off tax are that we spend an average of 17 extra hours, 17 hours catching up on work after we take a week off.
Number 5.
Again this year, there were no fireworks. And again this year, people were tricked into showing up for fireworks. That's number 5. The second year in a row, hundreds of people in Birmingham were tricked by an online hoax, and they went to a non-existent New Year's Eve fireworks display. We reported on this last year, I think. And I mean, fool me once, hey, you got me. Fool me twice, hey, you got me again. I think that's how the phrase goes. So this is one you kind of chuckle, a silly story. You got me, whatever. But some people are pointing to this story and saying, misinformation is dangerous. You can get people to do things. Let's be careful. I kind of hope you folks in Birmingham, and by the way, am I saying it right? Is it Birmingham? This is in the United Kingdom. Maybe I should have led with that. Birmingham in United Kingdom. And I may have mispronounced it both ways I tried to pronounce it. But I kind of hope next year you do get fireworks. But then, will anybody show up? I think it's ruined now forever. Nobody's going to trust anyone about fireworks on New Year's Eve in Birmingham.
Number 4.
Number 4 is a quick happy story. It's kind of funny. It's kind of happy. I like the way this story ends. Police are still investigating, but the headline I would write is Sober Second Thoughts. A thief returned a couple valuable mandolins to a music store in New Jersey. This music store received the stolen goods back, but also a handwritten apology note that said in all caps, "Sorry, I've been drunk. Merry Christmas." So it would seem as though the thief was drunk, stole the mandolins, sobered up, had a change of heart like Ebenezer Scrooge, and then returned the mandolins to the music store. Again, police are still investigating. No arrests have been made at time of recording this. To be continued, I guess. Hang on, let's work this out right now, and we'll send it to the Hallmark Channel. Don't they start shooting those Hallmark movies in February? We have just enough time to crank this script out. She's a down-and-out, classically trained mandolin player who was recently fired from the New Jersey Philharmonic. Cost-cutting measures. They got rid of the entire mandolin section of the Philharmonic. Let's call her Mandy, the mandolin player. And maybe she went out and had a few drinks after she got laid off from the New Jersey Philharmonic. And then she wanders into this music shop, whatever. The theft happens. The end of the movie, she returns the mandolins. And then the store owner and Mandy fall in love. Sounds like we've got ourselves a hit on our hands. An Ebenezer Scrooge story arc. True love at the end. Hallmark holiday classic. Mandy and the Mandolins. Anyway, please don't steal that from me. But let's be co-writers on it.
Number 3.
Number 3 is the story about Leonardo da Vinci's DNA. They believe, scientists, researchers believe they have extracted Leonardo da Vinci's DNA from a drawing. If you want to learn more, do a deep dive. How did they get the DNA? How do they know it's Leonardo da Vinci's DNA? What are they going to do now? If you want to get all that, we'll put a link in the show notes. It's kind of to be continued, but I feel like this would be a wonderful topic of discussion when you're getting together with friends and family or your colleagues. You're standing around that water cooler, that coffee maker, and you're shooting the breeze. What do you think the scientists are going to do with Leonardo da Vinci's DNA? Where do we go from here? And then just open up the floor and see what people's theories are. My own personal theory is Jurassic Park. They're going the same way the plot of Jurassic Park, they made an entire park of dinosaurs based on finding the dinosaur DNA. Maybe we're going to get Jurassic Park, but it's populated with Leonardo da Vinci's.
2.
Number 2 is one of these things where they got pictures of something so incredibly rare, and they're wonderful pictures. We can see what the giant phantom jellyfish looks like. It's hardly ever spotted. So rare. And researchers got some photos deep in the Pacific Ocean of the giant phantom jellyfish. It looks a little bit like a spaceship with a tail, or a mushroom with a tail, or... no, that's it. Mushroom or a spaceship. The giant phantom jelly. They say it can get 3 feet across, 33 feet long, so like a school bus. And the article doesn't get into how angry we have made the giant phantom jellyfish, but I would assume that since we bothered it and took its photo, it is planning revenge. So, to be continued.
Number 1.
If you made it this far in the program, number 1 is a good news story. It's not that weird or funny, but research says watching some TV after a long day is good for your brain. If you have a crowded house, if you have a chaotic house, young kids perhaps, or just a lot happening, if the house is hectic, that is associated with more negative emotions. But it seemed to lessen the negative emotions if you spent more time on your phone or more screen time. So it's like an escape from the hectic home life. There's way more to it. I'm simplifying it. You know what? I'm not a scientist and I'm not smart. I think I've said that before. I'll link to the whole thing, and maybe this is something you'd be interested in doing a deep dive on. Maybe this could be your escape from a hectic household. Have a bubble bath, put on some music from the New Jersey Philharmonic, and read this article. And escape. All right, that is that. Thank you for listening to What a Weird Week, and Happy New Year. I don't think I said it at the start, but Happy New Year, and thank you for being here. If you want to get our show notes, you can click shownotes.page, shownotes.page. We're back next Friday, another episode of weird and fun stories from the news on What a Weird Week.
Mandy drank liquor, the night that she got fired from the Philharmonic. They cut the entire mandolin section, and Mandy started drinking gin and tonic. Gin and tonic. Mandolin Mandy, Mandolin Mandy, don't steal that mandolin. Mandolin Mandy, Mandolin Mandy, it really is a sin. She sobered up and returned the stolen goods one night, and Gary, the music store owner, fell in love at first sight. Mandolin Mandy, Mandolin Mandy, don't steal that mandolin. Mandolin Mandy, Mandolin Mandy, you know that love will win. Mandolin Mandy and Gary got married, and she plays mandolin with a bluegrass sound. And they still laugh about that day when true love came to town. In New Jersey, love in New Jersey. Coming this holiday season to Hallmark Channel. Love in New Jersey.